Hello, this is Photography Gamer. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm reviewing Jet Set Radio for Microsoft Windows via Steam. The game was originally released in the year 2000 for the Sega Dreamcast. Jet Set Radio is an action game developed by Smilebit and published by Sega. You play as a member of the GG's gang. The GG's use inline skates to traverse Tokyo-to, spraying graffiti, recruiting new gang members, evading the cops, and taking turf from rival gangs. So what is the game like to play? Well, you start out with a basic tutorial where you have to copy the moves of a potential gang member. These showdowns with rivals persist throughout the game as you can add to the ranks of your GG gang. Generally, gameplay involves you going to a district of Tokyo-to belonging to another gang. Your job is to graffiti the region a certain amount of time to take over the area, but it's not as simple as you think. As you tag more graffiti, the police presence in the area will grow. To complete the area, you usually have to reach challenging locations, and to do this you need to grind or use your tricks. Control-wise, it's generally fine, but there are some issues with collision detection when attempting to land on some of the rails. Graffiti tagging acts like a minigame where you have to rotate the joystick in a set direction on screen. You'll also need to collect enough paint cans as some locations require more resources to complete. You can even design your own custom graffiti, although it's like using the old paint application in Windows. Unfortunately, you can't import JPEGs or PNGs. As I said, the game is set in Tokyo-to, a fictional variation of Tokyo. It's a colourful, eclectic and cool series of locations where you'll go from neon-lit districts, residential areas with steep hills and even delving down into the sewer system. Visually, the game still looks fantastic and is one of the most colourful games you could ever hope to play. The cel-shaded style, the over-the-top gang members and the gorgeous locations make the game experience a treat for your eyes. The sound work on Jet Set Radio is amazing. The narrative is driven forward by the super cool DJ Professor K who controls the music in the game. The soundtrack is one of the best I think I've ever experienced, with funky beats, hip hop and bizarre Japanese influences throughout. There are, however, a couple of tracks that will drive you insane, trust me. One other annoyance is your character says the same word every time they jump, and with some characters it can get very irritating. Okay, what's good and what's bad? What's good? The gameplay loop of tricks, grinding, graffiti and avoiding the cops is very fun. Despite the game's age, it still looks fantastic, the soundtrack is cool and memorable, the gang members are well designed, the game world is varied and interesting, and it's the kind of game that will make you smile. What's bad? The collision detection is a bit off at times, some of the music will drive you nuts, and the custom graffiti option is a bit limited. So what's the verdict? Jet Set Radio is an all-time classic and in my opinion was the best game to come from the Sega Dreamcast era. The funky art style, colourful graphics, amazing soundtrack and satisfying gameplay loop made this game stand out from the crowd. Even today, over 20 years after its initial release, the game still looks fantastic and it's still fun to play. If you've never tried it before, I would strongly recommend it, as it's a game that just captures the essence of why I fell in love with gaming. It's lots of fun, it's very cool, and hopefully one day Sega will dust off this franchise and make a modern day version of it, as it's one of the best games to come from the early 2000s era. So my score for Jet Set Radio is 9 out of 10. Okay, that was the review. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. This is Photography Gamer signing off. Thank you.